Welcome to Stars Launch Pod, where we chat with innovators who are overcoming challenges, pushing boundaries, and collaborating to make space more accessible and sustainable for humanity, one launch at a time.
It's one small step for man.
Here's your host, Susan Wise.
Welcome to Stars Launch Pod, space, technology, and research sciences, brought to you by starsciences.org, where we connect, collaborate, and accelerate. I'm your host, Susan Wise, and it's an honor to have with us on the podcast Antonio Ragusa, founding president of Space Economy Institute. Antonio, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Susan, for the invitation, for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
All the way from Rome, Italy, I might say. Antonio, tell us more about you, and we'd like to know all about Space Economy Institute.
Thank you. Thank you again, Susan. So basically, I'm an entrepreneur and an educator. So I basically decided to launch the Space Economy Institute to give a small contribution for the, let's say, growth of the new leaders of the space economy in terms of business management and entrepreneurship. Because what we notice that the Space Economy Institute is that the sector is growing exponentially in all the areas of the planet. But on the other hand, I think we need a lot of additional human capital that can contribute to the growth of the sector, not only in terms of technology and scientific aspects that are for sure vital, but also from the managerial, entrepreneurial, and business perspective. So the idea of creating the Space Economy Institute is to contribute in terms of culture, knowledge, research, and also networking to shape the new leaders of the space economy from the business side. So I would say integrating the already existing important part of the scientific side with the more managerial and entrepreneurial, because we know we are in the year of the new space economy, where it's not only governments, space agencies, right, and the public sector, but it's mostly private companies that need contribution from qualified people to make them grow. And so we want to contribute in that direction.
I think that's fantastic. And I think it's great that the private sector is really jumped on board and is just taking the reins and going with it, because I think that's progress. That's how we're really going to accomplish more things. What else are you guys doing to further the space industry when it comes to your business?
Yeah, so basically at the Space Economy Institute, Susan, we try to integrate three main things, which are education, research, and also networking opportunities. So in terms of education, to give you an example, we have created a Master in Space Economy, which is aimed at giving the most integrated and, I'll say, advanced knowledge from the economic perspective regarding the space sector. So we cover both the upstream, downstream segments, all the value chain connected to the space economy. And we go in vertical in all the applications of the space economy, from, I'll say, Earth observation, space medicine, all the applications also regarding agriculture, urban planning, disaster recovery, weather forecasting. So once again, to prepare the new leaders of the space economy from a business perspective. Then, for example, in terms of research, we are doing many papers to, I'll say, understand a little bit more the new things happening in the space sector. For example, we are studying a little bit the new business models related to the private space stations. We know that the ISS should be dismissed, so we're going to see more in details if and how private space stations can work. And from a networking perspective, for example, Susan, we have organized a couple of months ago in Rome, first Space Economy Summit, where we have gathered together experts, representatives of the global sector in the space domain, and I'll say intellectual, the professors that in some way have integrated their knowledge and expertise to offer this opportunity of additional knowledge to a wider global audience. So combining education, research, and networking is, I think, important a way to contribute, as mentioned, to help the human capital to know and to enter the space economy. What you're doing also in terms of communication and
Right.
casting is vital to bring more people close to this fantastic industry.
In your networking, is that face-to-face networking or is it online or how does that and how often does that take place?
We did it both because there was the, I'll say, the face-to-face event in Rome, but at the
Mhm.
same time, it was broadcasted live online. I think you can also find the recording on our YouTube channel. So we leverage on the technology once again to reach a wide audience.
Mhm.
And we plan to do it on a yearly basis.
Okay.
So next time we let you know, and for sure, maybe your audience can be interested. So to once again have at least a yearly meeting. But then we're going to organize also more, say, specialized gatherings. So for the experts, for
Mhm.
example, of space medicine or space, I would say, agriculture. So to go even more in details and in depth in all the areas of the space economy.
Give them a chance to really collaborate and meet one-on-one. That's great.
Yeah, because it's absolutely important because when you meet usually face to face, it's even better. But also online, you have
Mhm. Sure.
opportunity to share ideas, experiences, collaborate to develop possible new businesses together. So networking is still vital in our time.
I would like to ask you, what was one of your biggest aha moments looking at your journey with Space Economy Institute?
Yes. So basically, I would say, Susan, 5 years ago, there was a friend of mine who was a member of the parliament in Italy that also was involved in innovation and also in space that talked to me for the first time about the space sector. Honestly, I didn't know it so much. So while talking with him and then studying a lot, I discovered that it's one of the most fascinating and fastest growing sector of the global economy. You know better than me that the growth is forecasted to be to
Yeah.
arrive to $1.8 trillion by 2030, based on the latest forecast by McKinsey and similar, with a growth rate of about 20% per year. So if we think that the gross domestic product at the global level grows by 3% per year. So we're saying that, yeah, the space economy sector is going to grow at a very important and fast rate, about 20% per year. And so based on this growth, there's the need of qualified human capital that can support the sector. At the same time, we analyze that there's a lack of specific educational offer related to the managerial and business side of the space
Mhm.
sector. And so the aha moment was that. So say, okay, but
Mm.
we need this type of knowledge. So not only technicians, but also people that can contribute to the companies operating the space economy in terms of marketing, human resources management, finance, because once again, it's time to do more business, quality business in the space sector. And so from that, the idea of creating an institute that can be focused on this type of educational offer, once again, focus on the managerial and entrepreneurial side of the space economy.
Antonio, what's been one of your biggest challenges and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, I think that at the beginning, so I'm talking about 5 years ago, more or less, when I started the Space Economy Institute, the main challenge was in some way credibility because space was still seen as something a little bit futuristic or only based on exploration, astronauts. So it took a while, it's a bit of persistence to persuade people that
Mm.
it's not only that. There's, I would say, important industry which is growing exponentially. So when launching the first edition, for example, of the Master in Space Economy, it was a little bit challenging to persuade people that it was not science fiction, but it was
Right.
real life and I'll say important, promising new economic sector. But with persistence, once again, education and determination, it worked. Now we are, I think, at the fifth edition of the Master in Space Economy with a lot of success and also involvement of students
Mhm.
from all over the world. Once again, the results speak louder than the times concepts.
How do you find your people and how do they find you? I mean, well, like this program, we put people together, we collaborate, we connect,
Yeah.
a place to connect and find others, that are exploring kind of the same thing you are. How do you find your people?
Yeah, basically, we did a lot of digital marketing. So consider that the program is online master's program, so people from any continent can join without necessarily moving or leaving country. And so you know that through digital marketing today, it's possible to reach any corner of the world. So we did like that, and we have basically students from all the continents, including the Americas, Europe, but also Asia and Africa. For example, in Africa, there's also, I would say, a growing space sector with the African Space Agency and national space agencies that are being created and are working to make it happen also in the African continent.
I think it's exciting because you kind of represent a worldwide collaboration, not just in Rome, not just in Italy, but a worldwide collaboration of bringing everyone together so you can share
Yeah.
ideas and accelerate your programs.
Yeah, and the beauty also of, I would say, having in our times this digital learning and distance learning technology is also that you can involve not only students but also professors from all the world. So we have
Right.
professors from the United States, but also from Europe and other continents. So we try to bring the most prominent experts of all the subdomains of the space economy in order to bring their expertise, their knowledge, and also their real life experience, because we try to have an approach which is very practical. So we bring people that combine both academic expertise with professional real life activity. So to once again provide students with the knowledge that can be useful and can really support them in their career. But it's a global community, like you said.
Yeah. What advice do you have that you'd like to share with our listeners today?
The advice is to look at the space sector once again as an incredible opportunity of personal and professional growth. I honestly think that, but it's not my opinion, it's the data that anyone can find, that it's probably the fastest growing sector of the global economy. Once again, with a 20% of growth per year, which is amazing. The only problem, which is not the real problem, is that it's not so well known yet from the general audience. So it's
Mhm.
very important that, like you're doing, you are in some way expanding the knowledge of the space economy at the global scale, because it's an amazing opportunity that especially not so many young people know, but it's a fantastic sector. So
Mhm.
the advice is to look at it and to obviously invest in yourself in terms of education and
Right.
knowledge, because it's where now there's a ton of opportunities in terms of employment, in terms of managerial development, but also for those of us and you that are interested in entrepreneurship. It's a
Right.
fantastic area where launching your startup. There's also a ton of funding opportunities. Investment funds are looking
Mhm.
for talented new startups and entrepreneurs with good ideas to make the sector grow. So it's essential. And my advice, once again, is to invest in your growth, in your education, and look at this sector with a lot of interest, because it's the most fascinating and the fastest growing sector of the global economy.
It's exciting, and I hope that educators are pushing this in even in, elementary, high school, and after high school, but,
Exactly.
um, yeah, to inspire them because it's not just astronauts and engineers, it covers a whole plethora of different types of people that you need in this industry.
Yeah. And many people don't know that many of the terrestrial activities are based on space applications. So start from telecommunication,
Mhm.
we all use, say, mobile phones or satellite TV, but as mentioned, weather forecasting, but also urban planning, disaster recovery. agriculture, telemedicine are based on space application. Also, the international financial transaction are based on the, say, satellite
Mhm.
communication. So everything is already connected to the space, but there's a lack of knowledge or of information. So it's very important that both cultural and educational institute like the Space Economy Institute and your initiative, Susan, with your fantastic podcast can give a contribution and bring closer to the space economy in more people from
Mhm.
all the areas of the world because it's growing everywhere, not only America and Europe,
Right.
all the continents.
Well, one of the best things that happens is when somebody in the industry is watching one of my podcasts and they see one of my guests and they're like, ooh, I need more information about what he's talking about. I need to connect with this person. And then all of a sudden they reach out to me and we put them together and now they're sharing information and collaborating. And that's kind of the key of what we do.
Yeah, definitely. It's once again the beauty and power of networking that can happen
Right.
in many ways and
Yep.
forms through face-to-face activities or through, I'll say, digital information that nevertheless reaches people very well and then stimulates additional interaction and networking that altogether bring
Mhm.
additional value and connections and opportunities that then can be translated into, once again,
Well,
initiatives, business, cooperation, and so on.
and if any of our viewers or listeners wanted to connect with you at Space Economy Institute, how would they do that? What is your website?
The website is easy. It's spaceeconomyinstitute.com. Then if you want to write, I suggest to use the email info
Mhm.
at spaceeconomyinstitute.com, and we are at your disposal for any support and additional information about both the educational side and the other events that we organized.
Well, it's an exciting time to be in this industry. And before we wrap up, I do want to ask you, do you have a passion project, either past or present, or something that you feel really passionate about that you'd like to mention?
Well, I would say that the Space Economy Institute itself is a passion, is a mission, and we are trying to, let's say, expand the activity and to add the new initiative. So, for example, I mentioned the generalist master in space economy, but we are adding new educational program that go more in depth into specific sub segments of the space economy, like space law or space medicine, just
Hmm.
to name a few of them. And then for the students, we are also organizing two new important programs. One is an incubator dedicated to all those students who have an entrepreneurial attitude. We already support them during the master in terms of, I'll say, growth and development of their business idea, but we're going to do more in terms also of connection with investors that are looking, on the other hand, for
Hmm.
good teams and ideas to invest. So we're going to give additional support. And then we're going to repeat very soon another initiative that we already had last year. So a study trip to the United States for all the students that come from all the continents of the world. We already went to the Kennedy Space Center near Orlando to have visit and also meetings with companies and lectures. So to have together also a
Hmm.
moment of gathering and knowledge. We also had the opportunity last time to see a launch of
That's
SpaceX.
exciting.
And a
Yes.
fantastic experience. So we're going to repeat this, and so we'll let you know in case, Susan.
All right. I'm sure we'll have plenty of Artemis launches that you'll get to go check out.
Exactly like that.
But this is a very exciting time. And from 5 years to now, I can't wait to see where you are in another 5 years and what's happening. And I would love for you to come back sooner, please. Come back and join us on the podcast again, would you?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Susan, for this opportunity of sharing our initiatives and activities. And congratulations to you for your fantastic podcast. And we really need this type of information and this contribution to the sector. Thank you.
My pleasure. Antonio Ragusa, thank you so much for coming on today. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, make sure you join us where we connect, collaborate, and accelerate. If you enjoyed this episode, leave us a review and subscribe. Until next time, keep looking up.
Don't miss an episode. Subscribe on your favorite streaming platform. Watch us on YouTube and follow us on social media. Stars Launch Pod, propelling us forward, one launch at a time.